Right now, you've got the drag on the E and the R. We're now going to look to start transition to like an alternating kind of pattern. Starting with doing 4 drags on the E, then we'll do 4 drags on the R. So you should be alright beginning 4 times now, and then also as well. Okay. Now the next step is to then put them sort of side by side. So you're doing 4 of the E, 4 of the R, so you end up with 8 in total. And when we're going to do this, you have to be very, very careful when you go from the A side of things across to the E side of things. Not the other way around, because you actually have a lot more time. Just the way that the beats line up, you have the E, and then when you have the R, it's a lot more space rather than go from the R to the E. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. So you got the pattern 1 and 2, and keeping that the same. Good technique. Don't lose that technique. It's got to be there at all times. 1, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, like that. And then we're going to do the R. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I put these back to back, this is where the gap, the space sort of comes in. You'll see there's lots of space when I transition from the E to the R. There's lots of space in that left hand before you start playing the R. But then when you come around at the end of the R, you then got to go into the E very shortly afterwards. And this is what it sounds like, and you'll hear how close together they are versus how much space there is between the E and the R. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you tell there when I was doing the E's, then when it changes that there was a big gap on that left hand in the middle. If you're unsure of it, watch it back and you'll hear that it feels like there's a big space where there's nothing happening in the left hand for quite a bit. That's perfectly normal. And that's because the positioning, the gap between the E on one bar versus the A in the very next bar. So you've got the space of like almost a beat and a half basically, before you end up having to put a snare in there. Whereas the other way around, when you go from the A to the E, you literally you play the A, then when you've got the beat, on the beat is a space, and then you have to play the E. So you've literally got 2 16th notes before the next the next drag comes in. So there's not a lot of space. So that's like 1 and R2 in the end. That's what happens in that left hand. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting better at that transition by making it so we actually have fewer repeats. So rather than there being now 4, we're going to drop it down to 2 beats of each pattern. So you're getting used to doing that change twice as often. And then once you get better, we'll then look at doing even shorter spaces of that, which is then going to be 2s, and then from 2s down to 1s. Okay, so you'll be going 1 E in, and then you have the next beat, you'll be on the A, and then you'll be back to the E again. So you'll be having to do this change at least twice in a bar, so every second beat. Okay, all right, and I'll show you that in the next vid.